At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
That's not what I wanted to go to, but all right. Well, it's Monday. We're back after a little bit of a vacation or a nice trip here that I went to earlier this week here, or last week actually, is when we did that here. And boy, well, let me tell you something. First and foremost, you know, I talked about this a little bit last week, how I was going to the first of its kind, a digital meteorologist conference. And as we all know, the industry, the television industry is just, it's changing by the second. And we are seeing mass layoffs, we are seeing what have you. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to get out when I did, because it's a future that is very uncertain. And I wanted to kind of keep some stability there. And that's why I decided to start Weather NorCal, go it on my own and give you the information that you need. And that way it's a one-stop shop. You know, the number one reason why research has shown that number one reason why people watch local news is for the weather. So why not just get rid of the news altogether and just have a place where you can go just for the weather? So that's kind of one of the reasons behind this. And of course, I just love doing it. And, you know, I can do it on, you know, the way I want to do it. I don't have anybody telling me how to do this. I can do it. So I went to, on Thursday, that's why I didn't do Coffee with Krueger Thursday or Friday, is because I flew out on Thursday and spent Friday, Saturday, and then flew back on Sunday. So take a look at this. These right here, these guys, I want to show you this picture here. So the guy in the center there is, well, the two guys in the center. The guy with the kind of the dark blue jacket with the yellow stripes on it, his name is Nick Pittman. Now, he, several years ago, I want to say about 4 years ago or so, he started a digital channel much like this one. But he didn't have much. He just had a Facebook account. He didn't even have a weather computer. I mean, it was just, and he started. He is now one of the most successful digital meteorologists out there, making a very good living off of this. Now, shortly after him, the guy in the yellow tie, his name is Ben Luna. He's from he's from Tennessee Valley Weather. So he, probably just a couple of months after Nick started his digital channel, he started his. They both have a meteorologist staff. They've got morning, noon, weekend, all that, right? So they're doing very well in this industry. Now you'll notice the other guys in there. Of course, you can see me. I was about the third that started the digital channel. The guy to the left, at the very end on the left, he was the fourth. And then the guy on the very far right, he kind of started around the time I did in Nebraska. And then the guy next to him, so the second to the right, his name is Nick as well, McCoulis, and he's in Louisiana. And he started a channel there as well. So really, the two in the middle that I first mentioned, Ben and Nick, they are essentially the pioneers. They really got this started. Thanks to their help, I was able, and really Ben with the yellow tie, Ben was the biggest help getting Weather NorCal started. And honestly, I don't know if I could have done it without him. And Ben and Nick really helped all of us kind of get ourselves started and get going. So this picture you see right here, these are all the people that were the first that started the weather channels. At the conference, there were over 70 people there. And there were several meteorologists already still working in TV that were there, that are interested in doing what I'm doing and doing what we're all doing here and getting into digital media, digital weather, that is. So it was just great to answer a lot of questions for people who were concerned, who were a little afraid, trying to help them kind of get the courage to do this, because it's hard to leave a job that's, you feel secure, but honestly, it's not very secure anymore. And so that's one of the reasons why. But it was just a great turnout, great information, great conversations, and I'm really excited to take a lot of the things that I've learned from everybody and in just going into 2025 very strong and making some changes and growing Weather NorCal, making it grow. That's the whole key. And check this out. Look who's together. Look who's hanging out at the conference together. Yes, you have got Chase Wilson, my weekend meteorologist. So we got to hang out as well. It was nice kind of hanging out with him out at the conference. He learned a lot as well. We're all learning a lot during all this. So it's just great. All right. So that's kind of what was going on here. That's why I wasn't able to do Coffee with Krueger on Thursday or Friday. And of course, I was at the conference throughout the weekend as well. And just a great time, and I've really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to just getting into this and really just kicking forward. And it was kind of revigorating, if you will, just kind of getting us all together, having so many great conversations with these other meteorologists, helping them get more confidence for those that aren't doing it yet. Some of these names and some of these other communities are big names, and they're seeing the writing on the wall as well. And they're just saying, hey, we got to go it on our own. So it's happening. This is the revolution. You're going to start to see more and more people like me doing this. And it'll be interesting to see how it grows. We as a group, we are the first group of its kind in the weather category. And you can bet that there is eventually going to be some kind of digital national network. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next year or two. But it's happening fast. I would have never imagined that we would have had 50 to 60 to even upwards of 70 people at a conference for digital meteorology, and a big handful of those people ready to make that switch. It's amazing to think that that's what's happening, and that's exactly what's happening. So a lot of fun, a lot of great times, and I'm very excited to move forward and take what I've learned and getting Weather NorCal to grow even bigger. Because, yeah, my eventual goal is to have, of course, I've already got Chase Wilson doing weekends. I want to get someone else doing weekdays with me eventually, but you've got to bring in more revenue. Weather NorCal has to bring in more money so I can pay somebody to be here during the week with me as well. So those are goals. There are lots of other goals, lots of other plans here as we move forward as well. And you'll start seeing those changes, hopefully, throughout 2025. A lot of big things. And Michelle, if you're watching this morning, we got a lot to talk about. Michelle's my marketing sales. She's from My Umbrella Marketing. And we've got a lot to talk about as we go into 2025 and really start getting some goals going. All right. Well, what do you say? I mean, after all that was kind of long. What do you say we get to Krueger's Quickcast, where that's what some of you are here for? So you can just kind of check out the forecast for the day, get yourself out ready for the day, and you are ready to go. Let's get you right to it. Let's start with the current temperatures. Not that bad, 51 degrees for Redding. Now, the winds are blowing a bit this morning, as you can see, especially to the north end of the valley, where it's 51 for Redding. Chico, sheltered by the winds, much cooler at 36 degrees. Very interesting, right? You can see about 17 degrees for Susanville, 12 degrees in Alturas. Whew. And when I was in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee at this conference, it was like in the upper teens. So it was about the temperature of Bernie and Susanville where I was. I don't like those temperatures. I realize I don't like those temperatures. I like 51 right now. I like that in Redding. 30 degrees in Weaverville right now, 25 for Hayfork. Quite cold in Eureka at 33, even Crescent City at about 38 degrees right now. Take a look at the visibility. It's actually looking pretty good based on the data here. However, let's take a look at this camera, some of the cameras out there. Oops, my camera fell off. That's not good. Hold on. Something happened. Well, I guess I have to do it this way. All right. My microphone fell off. I was afraid of that happening. But anyway, I wanted to show you some of the cameras that are out there. Now, as you look at Oregon Mountain, you kind of look off in the distance, you can see some of the fog. Now, not too long ago, heck, a half hour ago, it was pretty foggy based even right around the camera. Look at Buckhorn Summit. You kind of look up. That, by the way, that's not actually Buckhorn Summit, that camera. That's kind of below Buckhorn Summit. But if you look off, you can see some fog as you start heading up a little bit higher. So there is some patchy fog this morning. That should most likely burn off pretty quickly. As you can see in Berry Summit, a lot of that fog there is burning off. You can see some blue sky off in the distance there as well. So just be aware of that. If you're heading through Trinity County, you may run into some of that patchy fog this morning. All right, out the door, there's the fog for Trinity County. Otherwise, sunny skies. And even Trinity County will see sunny skies here throughout the day today. But it'll be a cool start to the day, as you can clearly see there. Low 40s on average for the valley, but I think probably upper 40s, low 50s for places like Redding, and a little breezy too. And there's a look at the satellite image. So you may have seen on social media different outlets kind of mentioning and talking about some changes in the overall weather pattern. That is it right there. You see that? I call it a parade of storms that are kind of heading our way. You can see the first line of clouds kind of in the center of your screen, the next storm, and then the one behind that in the left side of your screen. Those are all heading our way, and they will impact us in some shape or form. Showers, snow in the mountains, even the winds picking up. Now the wind gusts right now aren't terribly strong. They were a little bit stronger earlier, but you can see the greens and the yellows indicating 20 upwards of 30 miles per hour, and especially in the foothills east of the valley. Otherwise, not that strong elsewhere. Now, as we go through the day today, we're talking about 15, 20, 25 miles an hour. They should subside, especially late tonight and early tomorrow morning, and shouldn't be much of a factor. All right, so for today, temperatures around 60, give or take, for the valley. We've got 61 degrees for Redding, 61 in Willows. Now, for the mountains, we've got 43 in Alturas, 45 for Fall River Mills. Off to the west in Trinity County, around 50, and for those daytime highs. And then we're looking at temperatures upper 50s to around 60 out along the coast. The coast. Here's your 7-day outlook. So I'm just going to, we're going to go into this much more detail in a deeper dive forecast. I've got the chance for showers in there for Wednesday, but I want you to keep in mind that most of, at least for the valley, most of it is going to hold off until probably the evening overnight hours. So most likely dry through most of the day on Wednesday, but there'll be more clouds, temperatures starting to drop, better chances for off and on showers for Thursday through the weekend. Now, as it stands right now, Saturday looks to be the day that we're going to see the heaviest rainfall. And of course, the heaviest snow in the mountains. But we're still looking at off and on showers. There you can see that's the case for the coast. The coast will see the rain first on Wednesday, probably sometime around, well, the morning, maybe some showers, but by the afternoon, showers there as well. And again, we're going to look at that in much more detail in the deeper dive as we go into Wednesday, because our short range forecast model goes into Wednesday afternoon. Siskiyou County, Modoc County, Eastern Mountains. Now what I've got here, I've done a broad brush with the snow levels. So, for example, you see Mount Shasta, the snow levels for Alturas and Susanville. It's the same every day. You'll notice it's gonna rise and lower. It never stays consistently at one elevation. You see some colder air move in, maybe heavier snow or rain. That tends to bring down some colder air along with it, and that can tend to lower the snow levels too. And there's a lot of factors that go into those snow levels. But just note that places like Mount Shasta, places like Alturas, even Susanville, Bernie, Chester, mid and upper Shingletown, all seeing that potential for snow. There have been rumors, and I've been hearing people talking about, I've been hearing about maybe snow down in the valley. I'm not seeing that just yet, folks. I'm not seeing it. So let me just take that rumor out of the rumor mill, at least here at Weather NorCal. Okay, I'm not seeing that happen just yet, but eyes are peeled. But we'll see. All right, but for now, I'm going to keep it in the mountains. Take a look at this. This is out at Lake Oroville. Beautiful shot. Looks like the winds are blowing down there a little bit. You can see the ripples in the water there. Even out towards North Forebay. The winds are blowing out there this morning. Not that glass lake that we typically see on those calm mornings. We take you out to Main Street Chico on Highway 32. Looks like we got traffic flowing smoothly there. Of course, typically not a lot of traffic this time of the morning. And we've got traffic flowing smoothly on Highway 99. A beautiful sunrise picture, by the way. And we take you out to Highway 44 on Sundial Bridge Drive, or near Sundial Bridge Drive in Redding. Of course, this camera does not have any motion, so you can kind of just see a picture, the latest image here. All right, tell you what, let's get in before we get into the deeper dive forecast. We're going to kind of check in with some of you and see how you're doing this morning here. And yeah, I mean, some of you kind of still making comments about how you appreciate the channel, and let's kind of put some of that up here. And maybe I'll also, just for fun, I will put up the image of the guys I was with at the conference, just so you can kind of see, you know, what we were talking about earlier. So again, for those of you that are checked in or didn't see what I was talking about earlier this morning, these guys right here. These are the first to do what I'm doing here with Weather NorCal. East Tennessee weather on the very far west, that's Mike Witcher. He's in East Tennessee in Knoxville. Ben Luna, the yellow tie, he's in Tennessee Valley, just in Lawrenceburg, which is where we had the conference. He's south of Nashville. You got Nick Pittman. He is with Norcast Weather. He's in the New Jersey area. He's had his channel for about 4 years, as well as Ben Luna in Lawrenceburg. The guy to the right of Nick Pittman, his name is Nick McCoulis. He is in central Louisiana, and he has a channel there. He's had that for probably less than a year. And then to the right there, you've got Tim Jones, and he is with Nebraska Weather. And he's in Nebraska, right? And he has been doing this for about as long as I have, actually. And Mike Witcher on the very far left in East Tennessee, he's been doing it about the same time that I have. He came on, I think, like 4 or 5 months after I did. So right here, you are looking at the beginning of what's to come. And as I mentioned, what you're not seeing on this image is over 50 people, broadcast meteorologists who are still in TV or just recently left TV or were fired from TV because of all the layoffs, right? Over 50 people who are interested in doing what we're doing. And we know that there are going to be at least 5 to 6 people within this year that will start their own channels, if not more. Could be interesting to see what happens with that. So, again, that's where I was over the weekend. We all talked, collaborated, and just had such a great time together. Good morning from Blue Lake. Kind of see what you all are doing here. Glad you had such a good time. I did, Julie. It was really just a good time. Not only just talking weather, it was a geek fest talking weather, but it was also just a great time getting to know all of these guys. Some of these I've only seen on their channels. So when I see them in real life and meet them in person, it's just so exciting. And then, of course, we've got LaDonna saying, yeah, we'll be excited to see what's happening in 2025. There are going to be some things happening. I feel very confident that Weather NorCal is going to grow substantially this year. We're going to make it happen. We've got Esther saying, I admire that you are a scientific entrepreneur. I am, I guess. I guess I am a scientific entrepreneur. Catherine saying, so glad you're pioneering this in our area. We couldn't be luckier than have you doing this here. I agree. This is so much fun. I'm enjoying it. We have got Steven saying, WDVX Radio in Knoxville is also a pioneer in country, bluegrass, and music digital streaming services. Oh, cool. Good to hear. Of course, music, right? Nashville, of course, right? We got Lisa saying, Steven saying, late to the party. Hi, all, and have an amazing day. And then we've got Chappie saying, I have never been so interested in the weather until you started this. I've learned so much and truly appreciate all that you do. Well, thank you, Chappie. I certainly appreciate that. One of my biggest fans, Chappie, right there, is usually you're there, right there every morning. So I certainly appreciate that. And this was fun, too. For those of you who watch regularly and are big fans of Weather NorCal, you'll know that in this picture, I'll get to it, we have got, to my right there, or to the right in the image, that is Chase Wilson. He's my weekend meteorologist. So I was very excited to kind of hang out with him at the conference and just kind of hang out. Good times. So yeah, he was there as well. We're all here trying to learn more and more about this industry, and we are learning from each other and helping each other out in this industry. So there you go. All right, without further delay, what do you say we get to the deeper dive forecast and get you right to it? Of course, as you know, Coffee with Krueger is made possible by Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. So I want to thank Wind River for their support, and they're part of the growth. They're part of the growth of Weather NorCal. Because again, without our sponsors, we can't grow. We just can't. It's not possible. And that's why Places like Wind River, our sponsors, make that possible. Now you'll notice, looking at the temperature is kind of interesting, right? You'll notice it's 51 for Redding, but 34 in Chico. Is that a typo? Is that some bad information? No. It's because the winds are blowing this morning on the north and west side of the valley, hence the 40s and low 50s there. Calmer winds, sheltered by the winds, you're in the mid to upper 30s. So when you have the calmer winds, it allows the temperatures to drop. When you have the winds, what happens is that mixes out the colder air that's trying to settle in. It mixes that out, and as a result, it can't get much cooler. So that's why we're in the 40s and 50s there. Now, we're calmer winds and clear skies, cold temperatures, 17 for Susanville, 12 for Alturas, 22 degrees for Mount Shasta City, 33 for Eureka, and 38 degrees right now in Crescent City. All right, so here's your headlines. Dry and mild start to the week. That's going to be today. Of course, it's cold starting off in the morning, but by the afternoon, it's warming up a little bit here. Cooler and unsettled by the middle and latter part of the week. Now, snow levels with these systems that are coming through are going to average between 3,000 and 4,500 feet. Just depends on where you are. We'll get into that in more detail. And then mountain travel. I think that's going to be impacted later this week and even into this weekend. So it's one of those things where if you do have to travel in the mountains later this week into the weekend, note that you may want to keep a close eye to the forecast. So there's kind of the cold front that's approaching. There's more cold fronts coming in behind that as well. We essentially have a series of storms that are heading our way. Now, none of them are particularly strong, but they're strong enough that we're going to see rain. We're going to be looking at snow. And they're cold enough, well, there'll be snow. Now, there have been some rumors and a few things kind of going around social media about low snow levels. There will be some cold air associated with some of these storms, and we could see snow levels down to about 3,000 feet, maybe locally lower. But I think at this point, places like Weaverville, Hayfork, you'll most likely be in the form of rain. Maybe at some point in time, a mix, but I'm not seeing any major cold air moving in. And even when you look at the microclimates of it all, you can have some of that cooler air settling in, the clouds come in and kind of trap that colder air in. As a result, we see those lower snow levels. We could see a little bit of that. It depends on what kind of clearing we see behind these systems and when the clouds and, of course, the rain and snow move in. So there's really a lot of fine-tuning to do as these storm systems move through, because really, even when you look at the long-range forecast models, there's a lot of discrepancies between the American and the European forecast model. There's some discrepancies there on the timing, the intensity, even the snow levels. I'm seeing a lot more snow coming in from the GFS, or a lot lower snow levels coming in from the American model as opposed to the European forecast model. The European forecast model isn't quite bringing those snow levels quite as low. So again, that's where things get tricky, right? When you start getting beyond day 3, 4, and 5, it gets a little tricky when we're trying to figure out what those snow levels are going to be. But looking at futurecast for the next 3 days, of course, today it's dry. Tomorrow, it will be dry as well. There's Tuesday at 5 p.m. We got a couple of passing high clouds, but that's it. And then by Wednesday, you see how the clouds are starting to move in, but still fairly dry. Now this, maybe some sprinkles, maybe some drizzle out along the coast, and then you can kind of see that pretty much breaks apart. So that first initial push is very weak. So Wednesday around noon, maybe some light showers, but the bulk of the rain by noon on Wednesday is still well off to our west. This is why I'm not anticipating really much in the way of rain for the valley eastward until really we get into Wednesday night and Thursday. But, the thing is, don't be surprised if Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, you see a light shower, maybe you see a light shower to the east. But once again, really the main cold front is still right here. So that's where the heaviest rainfall is. But we're beginning to see the rain pick up in intensity late in the day Wednesday, western Siskiyou, Trinity County, Del Norte, and especially northern Humboldt County late in the day Wednesday. And then as I mentioned, by Wednesday night into Thursday, this is all pushing eastward. And that's when we start to see more of that rain and, of course, the snow in the mountains. So, again, the setup right now is we've got this big ridge of high pressure. And that's been the setup. The ridge of high pressure, not this strong, but the ridge of high pressure has been the dominant feature all last week. And we're finally starting to see it begin to break down. And you may recall last week I was saying sometime around mid-month, we're going to start to see some changes in the overall pattern. And it looks like we're seeing that coming a little bit sooner than mid-month, but still very close. And it's all of this. You see this line right here. You see this area of low pressure, a little bit of rain and snow associated with that, and rain and snow associated with this one as well. So as we progress through time, Let's take you to Thursday, because we took you through Wednesday, right? Now we take you to Thursday. You saw that system come through on Thursday. There's the snow. And again, this is the American forecast model. It's a little bit more aggressive with how low those snow levels will be. And then we just have off and on chances. We go into Friday, Saturday. Saturday looks to be, at this point, to be the day that we see the heaviest amount of rain and the heaviest amount of snow. And this is when we can see some of the higher impacts with travel. Even on I-5, there may be some problems. Again, we're talking, what, Saturday? So timing, intensity of all of this, it will most likely change. Even going into Saturday, we'll see. But you can see another system coming in Sunday and a Monday of next week. There's another system behind that will most likely impact us as well, although I'm seeing a little bit of ridging here. If that gets a little bit stronger, which I don't anticipate that to happen, but going through even the middle of next week, I'm seeing the potential for some rain. And that's why, as you see here, wetter than normal. But one of the things I want to point out with these storms that are coming through, there's not any of them in particular that are really strong. Yes, some of them are going to bring us some moderate to even heavy rainfall at times and moderate to heavy snow in the mountains as well. But nothing prolonged, no kind of atmospheric river type of event or anything like that. So these systems don't have a ton of moisture to work with, but certainly a decent amount to give us measurable rainfall. So when you look at this, one of the things I want you to remember when you see this, because you see this all over social media, but a lot of times the person posting it doesn't really explain it well enough, sometimes even me, what this all means. Because when you look at this, for the average person, oh, it's going to be dry, it's going to be wet. Okay, but what do these different shades mean? What the Climate Prediction Center does is they put out a precipitation outlook, 10 days and even one that goes out to 15 days. And you see the different shades of green here. What this is saying is you take the normal rainfall for this time frame, okay? You take the normal rainfall for this time frame. Are we going to be above the normal rainfall or are we going to be below it? Now, again, that gets tricky. So there are percentages or chances of seeing above normal rainfall. So the green, this is a lower chance of seeing above normal rainfall. The darker green, a bigger chance of seeing above normal rainfall. So what you'll notice here is not seeing a very big chance of seeing above normal rainfall, but a bottom line is we look at this and go, it's going to be wet at least. We're just not going to see a ton of rainfall. And really, that's the way we want to get our rain, right? We don't want to get it all at once because then you have flooding and the works and mudslides, debris flows. But if you get it in moderation, it's much better. Now take a look at the temperature trend too. You can see they're actually starting to drop. We go into the weekend, we're in the low to mid 50s. So we're actually dropping below normal, but then temperatures start to kind of go back up again after that. So that could also help to support some of those lower snow levels I was talking about possibly as we do go into the weekend. But, you know, still a lot to iron out. Now we look at the wave heights, and you can see they're still fairly low. They should be fairly low as we go into your Tuesday afternoon as well. But by Wednesday, I do anticipate those wave heights will probably start to increase with that approaching storm on Wednesday. Here's your Monday marine forecast. North winds at 5 to 10 knots. Waves from the north at 5 feet at 7 seconds, and from the west at 9 feet at about 13 seconds, and a small crotch advisory for today. All right, so here is your forecast for today, your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Now, again, everyone you will see, including the valley, has that chance for rain Wednesday. Keep in mind, as the storms move in from west to east, it's the coast that will probably see it first, and then eventually, especially late in the day, Wednesday night, it'll move eastward. So when you see that, keep in mind the bulk of any rain and snow will really start to hit. Wednesday's more of the transition day from the drier pattern we've been experiencing to the wetter pattern we will be experiencing, especially starting Thursday. But there you can see temperature about 49 degrees for Peanut as well as Hayfork, 50 in High and Palm. Here's your North Coast neighborhood forecast. Temperatures low 60s for your daytime highs today to the south. Out towards Ferndale down to Rio Dell, about 60 degrees, give or take. You can see, of course, that chance for showers, probably sometime late in the day Wednesday. For the North Coast, out towards Trinidad, down to Eureka, about 60, give or take. 55 degrees for Hoopa, 56 degrees in Willow Creek. Let's take you up north, 56 degrees in Gas Key, about 61 for Smith River, and 58 degrees in Orick. Take you out to Siskiyou County, where you've got 45 in Happy Camp. But look at this. I mean, some areas are going to struggle to get out of the 30s, if at all. So another chilly day. I mean, Greenview, about 37, 39 in Callahan, 39 for Fort Jones, and about 38 degrees out in Etna. We take a look at your central and eastern Siskiyou County. Now again, notice the snow levels. I've got them just average around 3,500 feet Wednesday through Sunday. At times it could get lower than that. So I do anticipate that Mount Shasta City could see some snow out of this. And, you know, we're talking inches, several inches of snow possibly. And again, we're going all the way through, you know, Sunday, so it's not going to all happen at once. But yeah, you're going to be looking at that potential. Tule Lake, about 37 and 39 degrees out in Tennant. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast for your Monday, 38 degrees for Newell. There you can see Alturas about 42 degrees. And yeah, Alturas could see some snow out of this. But where we're going to see the lack of snow and not as much snow will be Modoc County. Will be parts of the eastern mountains. You can see Fall River Mills about 45 degrees, 41 for Old Station, and 56 for Paynes Creek. Bernie, I've got your snow levels around 3,500 feet, although there are going to be times where Bernie, you're at about 3,000 feet. I think, Bernie, you're going to see some measurable snowfall at times as well. Again, we'll be fine-tuning that forecast as we get closer to Wednesday and really closer to Thursday and Friday. There you can see out towards Chester. Chester, I think you'll pick up some snow as those storm systems come on through, as well as Lassen Park, obviously. I mean, much higher elevations there. And for today, low 40s for the perimeter of Lake Elminor. There you can see 46 degrees for Mineral. Paradise, you'll see a high of 57 degrees today. Temperatures dropping, though, with the chance for showers coming out on Wednesday. Susanville, your snow levels on average around 4,500 feet. Could get locally lower than that. So Susanville, I think you could see some snow out of this as well. Your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by Walgamuth Painting. I think on average, temperatures are going to be around 60 degrees, give or take, for the Valley. Chances for showers on Wednesday, mainly Wednesday evening and then Thursday. Quite honestly, it's going to be dry through most of the day for the Valley on Wednesday. It's Thursday. That was really Wednesday night into Thursday. See the better chances for rain. There you can see 57 degrees for Whiskeytown, 60 in the city of Shasta Lake, and 61 degrees for Cottonwood. And we take a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding, and it's going to be dry. It's still going to be fairly mild, right around 60, but see how the temperatures are starting to drop. So as I mentioned, I've included the chance for showers in there for Wednesday. Again, don't count on much. Most of it's going to hold off until Wednesday evening, Wednesday night. Again, the timing of that may change even as we're looking out a couple of days here. And then off and on showers. And right now, the Saturday looks to be the day that we will see the heaviest amount of rainfall out of all this. We'll see. Again, this is going to be one of those forecasts where we're seeing inconsistencies, if you will, on the timing and the intensity of these storms as they pull through. But what we do know is that there will be off and on showers starting, well, Wednesday. This is the transition day. And then especially Wednesday night, Thursday, through the weekend, even into early next week, off and on chances for rain. Some days, more rain and snow than others, and some days cooler than others. And of course, snow levels too. That's something you have to watch because travel is going to be impacted. No doubt in my mind that we will see travel concerns. So be aware of that if you have travel plans in the mountains here, especially this weekend. Obviously, people always tend to have plans, biggest plans on the weekend. So Friday, Saturday in particular, I'd watch because, again, right now, that looks to be the day that we're going to see the heaviest rain and snow. In fact, I think my wife was saying that she's driving up on Saturday, so I'll have to kind of keep her informed with what's going on with that as well. Coffee. Just kind of some good mornings out there, and certainly appreciate that from Tracy, James, and we got Chris saying good morning to Mike and everyone. I certainly appreciate that. Well, what do you say we kind of wrap things up here, folks, shall we? It has certainly been a good morning. I'm glad I was able to tell you about this awesome conference that I was able to attend and get going with that. It was definitely a lot of fun. And like I said, big changes heading our way in the next year. So we'll be on the lookout for that. It should be exciting. Lots of good stuff. All right, well, let's wrap up the show and get you through. Well, let me get you ready to take a look at some cameras out there. We've got some cameras. I know we do. There it is. There's a look at Lake Oroville. Have yourselves a great day, everybody, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again tomorrow on Coffee with Krueger, tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Oh, there's Kenny. How you doing, Kenny? I know. When you say going to miss a good party, I thought the party was last night. But if it's not, let me know. I'm going to actually contact Garrett, and we'll kind of talk, because I do want to also talk to your wife about an ag report. All right, that's going to do it, folks. Got a little sidetracked there from Kenny. Looks like a nice meal there you have there on your image there. So there's a look at Lake Oroville. We're going to leave you with some cameras here and some fun jazzy music to wrap up the morning. Have yourselves a great day, and I will see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. on Coffee with Krueger.